Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very 20th episode of Roll20 Presents Tomb of Annihilation. Here we are, 210s episodes in, 120 episode.
210s episodes?
4 or 5 episodes. This episode is four times more fifth than the 5th episode was. So if you like the 5th episode, this one's going to blow your mind.
You're out of your depth.
I mean, but it's also like 20 times the first episode,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. This is the critical hit episode. This is it. This is as far as the die goes.
Damn.
That's right. This is the Nat 20 of all episodes. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
So TPK?
Yeah, that's it. We're done. That's it. So yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm the Dungeon Master. I'm Adam Coble. I am joined, of course, as usual, by my lovely friends and adventurers. How has everyone been doing? It's been more than a week. I mean, for us, it's been a day. Yes, we played Burning Wheel yesterday. We don't need to pretend like we haven't seen each other in a long time. But for our audience, they haven't seen us. Maybe if they just are watching this. So hi.
You've aged terribly, my friend. Look at you.
The vagaries
the years
of time
have not been kind.
Yeah, ancient adventurers now. This is what happens when you get old. Just every day is like the worst. It weighs on you. But you know what? That's okay.
I feel that.
Because we can pretend for a moment like the most dangerous thing we have to contend with is killer plants.
Yeah.
We're developing. So I wanted to talk a little bit with you, my friends. We're developing a bit of a pattern here where y'all seem to have no problem with most encounters unless they involve killer plants. What's that about?
Plants are weird. Like, it's a weird enemy. You know what I mean? Like,
In order for the plant to be worth being a D&D monster, it has to do some messed up
yes,
stuff.
it is.
You're right. It's not
really messed up.
It's not like you open the door and in the second room of the dungeon you find an azalea bush.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
no!
begonias.
Burn!
I mean, I guess you could be allergic, but like,
Wait, are those dire begonias? They're like big and spiky, but they're still just flowers.
yeah, they're still just flowers though.
Come on.
I do like the idea of referring to anything that is larger than usual as a dire something.
Oh yeah, I saw some dire tulips.
We in an earlier game of Dungeons and Dragons from my youth, we referred to humans as dire halflings. That was like the thing in the campaign setting. That there were no humans, there were only dire halflings.
I almost just spat my coffee everywhere.
But at some point in the Dungeons and Dragons monster manual history, dire stuff stopped being just really big and became spiky. Right?
Yes,
Anyone who's familiar with D&D knows that this was a
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
dire wolves and dire bears used to just be big, but then, like, at what point, at what
They became,
edition?
like bone spurred. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta derail this conversation with something that has come to my mind here. Okay, so like you can have a half elf.
Uh-huh.
Can you have a half dwarf?
Yes, Dark Sun has them. They're called Mool.
Okay.
Yeah,
What happens if a halfling and a human get down? Do you
Um,
get a
A
half
halfling?
I don't
Are they
think
a
halflings.
quarterling?
Listen, you're not supposed to go to town with a halfling. They're too cute and soft and round, and you don't want
Okay,
to. Don't
what if
think about
gnomes
them
and
like that.
halflings
All right.
Who would ever want to have sex with a gnome? All right, this is going to bad places.
Why are we talking about this?
There's a table somewhere, perhaps in the Book of Vile Darkness, that will explain all of this.
I know it.
Ask your parents or guardians if you are allowed to look at the Book of Vile Darkness. Go find it at your local game store. Flip through it. Take it out of the paper bag that you got it in, and find it. There's
There
a
is
table.
definitely a chart for which races can be with which races in one of the books.
Oh, I'm sure.
The Hustler's Guide to Getting Down.
So what about a
A D&D
halfling and a
supplement.
gnome?
Don't be gross,
Everybody-
Blue Jay. Come on.
I already suggested that. You
Yeah,
missed.
don't be gross.
Half gnome?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. The thing
don't
is
blame
here,
Halfling.
we have to assume that there's only half human, half something else, because none of the other species can interbreed, I guess. Like, because humans are just the genetic. I mean, listen,
Whatever.
you
They're
can
like
have
a
sex with a
blank-
human, and you'll get whatever half thing you want. Okay, you want to be a half mimic? Just go and put your stuff in a treasure chest. It's fine. That's how it works. All right, you know what? This
Stop
show.
sure
while
that's how
I'm
it works.
drinking.
I'm pretty sure. I read that.
Literally, as soon as I put my coffee cup to my mouth, say something ridiculous.
Got that sexy lacquer that you like? Smooth exterior. Listen. Someone somewhere is really enjoying this. They're really like they're watching the show and they're like, I'm really
This is the
into it. I'm
content I
feeling it.
subscribed for.
Exactly. Subscribe to twitch.tv
Well,
slash D&D for all your weird talking about how to make half mimics
Go to
conversations.
Twitch. Go to Twitter
right.
at Skinny Ghost and
Yeah.
report Adam for abuse.
You
Poor
can't-
behavior.
You can't nail me on another platform. I'm just a guest here. All right. I'm coming to
Anyone who has gnome in their Twitter username needs to go like have a beef with Adam.
I've come to D&D's house and I'm just knocking over all their furniture. I'm sorry, Greg Tito. I'm sorry I knocked over your furniture. But listen, I'm just going to traipse around in my muddy boots and we're just going to have this conversation with these people who are in your house right now. It's fine. That's what they're here for. The show turned 20 today and got a little weird, I guess.
It's legal in all states now.
That's right. We can talk about these
I mean, it
things.
still can't drink
Yeah, it's
in
like-
America.
Which you need to
It can
do.
do a lot of
You
other
got to get
things.
drunk first before you're going to try to get down with a mimic.
If you're gonna try to make a halfling, you gotta be drunk.
Yeah, you start looking at that rug of smothering like, I wonder. You need to think again. Take a step back.
Cloaker or whatever they're called.
You just know someone right now is flipping through the Dungeon Master's Guide, going through all the magic items and thinking, would I do it with this magic item?
God
I mean,
damn
Ring
it.
of Three Wishes being the obvious one. So, guys, don't drink in dungeon.
Yes,
all right?
don't do it. You're going to make bad decisions.
You're gonna go home with someone who looked real handsome.
And you're going to wake up in the morning with an apparatus of qualish somewhere you don't want it to be.
Yeah, or like a cloaker.
I feel like this is the kind of thing that you find like in the adjacent to Gen Con, like bars at 1 in the morning, like open mic night at this saucy tavern. And like,
I'd get on with a halfling.
I got some jokes for you, some blue humor about what it was like to fornicate with the grung. Don't do it, kids. They're poisonous. You'll die. So let's get reacquainted with this group of perverts. Let's begin. I think I was gonna start with Dave, but Dave is dying. So, Arcturus, Blue Jay, tell us about the deep blue sea and the fishmen that live within.
I
Particularly
moved
your
to a new
fishmen.
part of the ocean.
You did.
Yeah. But Arcturus did not. Arcturus lives in Chult. Yeah, Arcturus is a Triton Tempest cleric of Istitia. He is lawful good, and therefore, murdering anything is like, let me think about this for just a moment too long, party members. And also, we met someone who spoke like fire primordial, and I'm super hyped
She
to
didn't
follow
like
that up.
you. Yeah, she didn't like you at all.
Yeah, that was real fun to see that side of Arcturus because he did not like her either.
Yeah.
Some kind of
As
instinctive,
it turns out that
watery thing.
turns out that religion and culture can make you not like someone even if you don't know them. Go
Weird.
figure. Yep. But for right now, you are far away from that nasty lady. You're down in Mesro with the rest of these goons. So speaking of goons, Little Fox, you're my favorite party goon. Tell us about your character, Andrew. What are you playing? What's happening?
Little Fox is a barbarian of the 5th level. Or is it level 5? Is that like an American?
It's an American Canadian thing,
Where
totally.
you're in 5th grade or you're in grade 5.
The Canadian version of Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, it does say level 5, whereas it's 5th level in America. Yeah.
And so Little Fox has animal totems and is that kind of a barbarian.
You're also the silent smashy type.
Strong, very strong, very silent.
Yes.
8 foot tall.
Yeah.
Able to be invisible.
She's a big lady. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you have to be. You gotta have a big strength if you're looking after the world's most troublesome kobold. Elf, tell us about your character.
Yeah. My character is, of course, Easy Snaggletooth, duelist extraordinaire, kobold fighter of the 5th level, battlemaster fighter. And only kobolds and maybe some dragon born or whatever they are. Nothing else. Scales are necessary, okay? Like none of that other stuff.
Hey, I have scales. You gotta be more
Not
specific.
the same kind of scales.
They're different, all right? They're different. Just because someone says they like people with scales doesn't mean they like all people with scales, okay? And last but not least, hopefully the voice of sanity, but we'll see. At least the voice of fireballing things. Dave, tell us about Malik.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was the voice of sanity. Everybody else is telling me that now I have to be neutral alignment because I sure blow up some ugly crab people.
Listen, alignment
Well-
means something here to me, so it's fine. You
Alright.
can work your way back to neutral good if you want.
Yeah, I go do a bunch of good deeds, like 3 a day or something. I don't know.
Yes.
One of them is keeping up with everybody else. I am a sorcerer, human sorcerer, brass dragon lineage, archaeologist. Those are all words that are on my sheet.
Excellent. Yes. Yes.
Oh, and since I'm in England, my level is technically 8.545.
Yeah, there's a metric conversion.
Red is a conversion. I see. Good. Cool. Yeah. So I will be working diligently to convert all of the distances in the game to meters and kilometers. But in the meantime, we'll just have to stick with old Imperial for the time being. Let's take a look at the map. Let's take it to the board. So, dear friends and adventurers, you find yourselves in the the ruins of the city of Mesro, ancient Chultan metropolis that sits at the mouth of the River Olung, near the gorge of Ataz Muhaha. You've come here to potentially find your missing friend, Artisimber. Missing, he left you. There's some emotional baggage there. But mostly just to check it out, because it's a thing on the map we haven't seen before. And it's also the entrance to the river, and the river will carry you south, deep into the jungles of Chult, where you might hopefully find Raz and C, and potentially solve the whole death curse situation. But for now, the group of you are recovering from a little bit of a scuffle, a little tangle, a little assassin
A little
vine.
bit of almost dead.
Yeah, a little bit of a near TPK. Skinny your teeth on that one.
Speak for
How
yourself.
many?
I mean, it was
hands
just
long
me,
is the
really.
Assassin vine, Adam.
What's that?
I said, how many hands long? is the
Right, it
assassin
weighs
vine?
4
How many
stone.
stone
I don't
does it weigh?
know. It's a clustered object. I don't know. So you were able to defeat it. Nobody died. I thought, and I wanted to just before we jump into like we're playing D&D now, I thought it was really interesting how both in chat and after the fact on YouTube, folks noticed a play style that I have come to take for granted from this group. But it was really fun watching people notice how we were goofing around and joking and like doing the RP thing. And then as soon as I think it was Arcturus went down and there was like, okay, now we're counting death saves, we're checking number of squares, and we slowed right down to be like, okay.
Well, because it super matters once you get to that
Yeah,
point.
suddenly
right?
the stakes are there.
Yeah, and I wanted to just kind of like point that to y'all as a group to be like, yeah, this is the thing that we do, but also to people watching, like that's sort of a way that we end up playing. So if you see us kind of like shift from the kind of goofy, high energy, like, okay, and then this thing happens, then some other stuff happens, to that like, okay, we are playing Dungeons and Dragons now, take this shit seriously, somebody might die. There's game. And then there's like game where we don't attach to the mechanics quite as much. I think it's really cool. Yeah, we all kind of like hone in real focused.
Everyone knows in Tomb of Annihilation that if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Yes. Yeah. We all, as a part of this stream, we all had to agree to have poisonous gas vents installed in our homes. And Chris Perkins has his hand on a set of switches. He's watching. Please, Chris.
I personally
mercy.
went with the scything blade.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice. Went with the blade package. That's good. Nice.
Is that what
I
that release
moved,
form
so
was
it'll
about?
just release a lot of gas into my old house, and I'll be fine.
Wow. Very lawful
Yeah.
good. Nice work, Arcturus. So please, don't die. Yeah, that's right. Tom Hanks knows how this works. Cool. All right. So, death threats aside, we're in Mesro. It is late morning. It's probably raining. You find yourselves. How's everybody doing hit points wise? Like you're still pretty beat up, right?
Yeah. I have 8 hit points.
I
Okay.
didn't get hit at all, so I'm fine.
Oh, yeah, I have 38.
Okay, so you're not doing too bad. Arcturus took most
It's
of
just
the
me, yeah.
pummeling on that one. Okay, all right. So you stand amidst the ruins of Mesro. Consider that half of Mesro, the sort of northwestern section of Mesro, has been reclaimed by the jungle for the most part. And you're starting to get really familiar with what it looks like when an ancient Chultan city gets reclaimed by the jungle, right? Especially Malik, you're seeing a lot of interesting ways how Chultan architecture tends to break down, like weakness points, the way that their stone carving techniques work against the jungle. So you're noticing there's that on one side, but then the other half of Mesro, it seems like, is being reclaimed by the river. The river mouth part of the city was built on stone or wooden stilts to lift it up above the water, but much of that has collapsed, and so half of the time you're walking through like weeds and sort of flooded forest, and then the other half up in the higher part of the city, you'll be kind of chopping your way through jungle. So yeah, it's clear that Mesro no longer belongs to man. Mesro belongs to Chult. And if there was anyone staying here, it's certainly not anybody that lives a life of civilization. Though you do know, or at least there is some rumor, that there may be an illusion at play.
And we've seen the illusion.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that you saw it.
We felt it.
It's been detected. And yeah, little Fox, you like smell the strangeness of the place.
Yeah, and she kind of she told them, like, yeah, you're having weird dreams or feelings of fear, and that's all part of this.
Yeah,
this aegis of fear upon the place.
Yeah, there is a repulsion magic or an illusion. There's a lot at play. It's powerful magic. We talked about that because Arcturus sort of theorized about dispelling it, but it's not.
So I rolled really well, and it's still
not something that your level of magic is currently capable of.
Here's my first question, Adam.
Sure.
Is there anything lootable around the Assassin Vine building?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Assassin Vines probably at some point got their hands on like explorers or other adventurers. I think that's fair. Let me consult my.
I'm walking around like poking other vines and seeing if anything comes to life.
Lifting things out of the way. And...
yeah, like moving vines off the floor.
How many? There were 2 Assassin Vines.
2 Assassin Vines.
Okay. Which ironically is only a medium encounter for the group of you.
If we knew they were there and didn't get Arcturus so quickly, it would have been easy. Yeah.
Okay.
If you go off the movement speed of like 5 feet, that probably lowers it like 1 billion points.
So let's see. Assassin Vine, 2 of them. It's a CR3 encounter. And I think this probably counts as like... yeah, okay. So I think that in the wreckage, now that the Assassin Vines are dead, you can chop and dig through it, and you find... yeah, the remains long since added to the soil, right? Like the flesh consumed, the leather decayed, both by the weather and by the plant's natural enzymes. All of that has degraded, but there are still like bones laying in the rubble. You could probably, with time and effort, lay them out and figure out how many people were killed here. But for now, it's just digging through, essentially digging through mulch and bones, looking for things that the plants couldn't absorb.
Yeah, like some random animal remains and human remains and
magic items, because they are really difficult to eat.
Have you tried?
I mean, fair.
I mean, we have one magic item that literally makes food, so I don't know, Dave. I don't know.
Fair.
So I think you find some coins, a coin purse or 2, all told. I guess do you want to do this while you're taking a short rest?
That was my thought. Like, we were gonna catch our breath, and I would like look around while this is.
Okay, cool. All right.
I can carry the coins around.
Cool.
Okay. So you find 20 gold. You find 150 silver.
It's pretty good.
You find a what you like pull a buckle out of the like mulchy like vines. It breaks free of the leather belt that it was attached to. But you find on the belt there are some decorative turquoise like studs that you can pop out. So the buckle and a set of turquoise like buttons essentially that's worth as a set 25 gold.
Cool.
You want to take that as well?
Yeah, I'm just gonna carry all the
Notice all
stuff.
down.
You find a slightly moldy wooden scroll case. The case is open, and inside there is a scroll, but the scroll is blank, and it comes apart when you take it. It looks like, Malik, you looking at it, it's a scroll that has a spell scroll that's been used. So it's just blank.
Was it blight? No. If it was blight, then it would still be there because they would have killed them.
Yep. And it doesn't look like you find any other like items. There's no weapons or like nothing unusual. Like I bet you probably find like a rusty sword or two. You find a knife.
Not worth picking up.
Yeah, they've all kind of given in to time.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would be able to tell, but I would like to try and test the resistances. So I have like a full catalog in my head in case we come across any more, because you described them as being resistant based on the kind of fluids that were on them. So I'm wondering if they'd still be there when they died, or can I not use them as research?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can tell you already, you know that they're not resistant to acid, and they were resistant to both fire and cold.
Yeah.
You could get like a
I zapped him with lightning. Was that?
Yeah, not resistant to lightning. Yep. So you have that just as your mental catalog from the battle. You can make a nature check if you want to like examine a sample of the fluid.
Yeah. Let's give it a little look-see. Oh, that went pretty well.
All right. Yeah, I'll let you know. I think you've actually got it covered, but I'll double check for you. Yeah, they're resistant to cold and fire, but to nothing else. It occurs to you that a fluid that has qualities of being both cold and fire, like thermically resistant, could be all kinds of useful, and that if one were botanically inclined, growing assassin vines to harvest this goo for the sake of making potions or unguents might be something useful.
Oh yes, I've always enjoyed strolling around my latticework assassin vine garden. That's always real.
Oh, I mean, yeah, this is some like wizard stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some wizard tower shit.
Ironically, alternately, these things may be unnatural and could be something that a wizard grew for that very purpose, but then got out, right? And like owlbears.
Can I hit dice?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're taking a short rest.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah, so just to check, there's not enough here since we killed them and stuff.
Correct. Yeah. There are like seed pods though. You could always grab some of those, like
that
an
sounds
assassin.
like a great / terrible idea.
Assassin vine seed pod.
Yeah, would that be a separate nature roll?
No, I think that's part of that. You can harvest like a single pod. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, because I think part of wanting to protect his friends better next time is like, know your enemy in case there are more in these ruins. So he does all that while everybody else is resting. So
yeah, the seeds, this is information that is available here. The seeds of the assassin vine come from bunches of small fruits that resemble wild grapes. I could tell you what they taste like if you wanted to eat one, but I wouldn't suggest it.
I was gonna say, like, that sounds like a horrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
So since I can talk to them, I could raise one to be nice, but eventually it would be like, feed me, Seymour.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. So you wanna continue your exploration of Mesro?
Yeah. I seem to remember my previous plan was if we couldn't find out how to banish this illusion, that my next plan was just to yell really loudly.
I do remember there being a conversation about yelling really loud.
Yeah.
It was like tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right. That's tomorrow? All right. So.
Because, her yelling at Uptau worked, so I don't see
why. It worked so well! Look, Ishi yelling at stuff is totally a strategy.
It's
But anyway.
legit. I'm not going to question this.
Yeah. So what's the rest of our this day look like? People who don't have a yelling plan.
Yeah, are you gonna stick together as a group and just kind of go block by block?
Yeah, we just want to explore as much as we're able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
we
that
would
day
like
one,
to-
let's see, and then day two, maybe yelling.
We would like to roll on the random encounter table, please.
Oh, I already got today's random encounter table squared away.
Okay.
So you, this is the thing, and it's either fascinating or frustrating or both, depending on your approach to these things. But every ancient Chultan city that was dedicated to Ubtao was built to specific religious protocols. Ubtao being the god of labyrinth, there are sprawling streets that terminate in random places. The city is laid out in a general circle shape with 4 main roads to the middle where the temple is, but everything else is laid out like someone's intestines, just streets bending in back on themselves. It's very confusing if you're not already used to it. Thankfully, most of the buildings have fallen over, so you can kind of navigate relatively easily. But it is
would be confusing.
What's
if
that?
I didn't have a character flaw that guides me through this, which is always choose going left.
There you go.
So that's how we do the labyrinth.
So I guess Malik, you're leading the party. You're like left
Yeah,
it this
and
way.
I look at crossroads and I look like I'm considering for a while. I'm like, that one looks kind of dangerous, and there's and just always pick left anyway. Regardless, it's just
Right. Okay. All right. So so Malik leads the party. And I think that like several hours pass, right? The morning fades into afternoon. The afternoon rain continues until I think probably like late afternoon. The majority of the day has gone by and you haven't found anything. Mesro, it's a fascinating ruin, but it's a ruin. And if you're looking for anything other than plants or water, that's it. However, partway through the afternoon, as it's starting to descend into evening, we see the camera sees the edge of a ruined building, a large statue sort of propping up an eave to a roof that no longer exists. And next to it, facing it, standing quite close, we see a human wearing, I think he's wearing scale mail or maybe chain mail. Let me check. There is a spear propped up on the wall next to him. He is facing the wall, and he is doing the little "I just peed on this statue" dance, where he's like adjusting his trousers. He
is his name mild-mannered Pate, because that's the vibe I'm getting right now.
He's wearing a chain shirt, and he has a shield, but it's like hanging on his back.
Is he standing next to a portcullis?
No, he's not.
Okay, if he went through, he'd close that behind us. I already knew that.
So he's just peed on this statue, and then he stretches and he turns and he looks alongside this building, and we hear him say, "Just another boring day in the ruins," as he walks towards his friend who's similarly dressed, and the group of you are approaching. Sort of around the other corner. And are you doing so, I assume, like just at normal pace? I see Elf about to like let her rip on
I'm
the
just
shouting.
waiting to see if anybody stops me.
No, I do.
before
I stop you.
Okay.
I turn around.
So this is it is this motion. It's like oh.
We specifically talked about this. The other people that we might attract are the Flaming Fist. Those are probably...
Oh, right. There was a sign, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So, make
Uh,
the assumption that these are some of them.
from our previous experiences with these people, it might be best if Malik is the one to encounter them at all.
Yeah,
If-
but also I feel like not surprising them is probably a good idea.
Right. Okay, I'll take the lead. I will bumble through as an archaeologist, not a sorcerer.
Well, mostly as a human, I think, is what these folk are, if they are a flaming fist, concerned about.
Did we see any fists on their gear?
I mean, technically, and I know this is a little confusing, but technically the audience saw this guy, but you haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, y'all are just walking along the side of a building.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
realize
I'm
that.
sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I walk up. I'm leading the way anyway, and since we haven't heard this dude, I guess I stumble into it first.
Okay, so y'all are like, I mean, you're moving through the city actively searching for things, right? So I think it's reasonable to make a group perception check, and as long as half the group gets 10 or better, you'll hear them before they hear you.
In us.
Boom.
Wow.
Well, let's see.
Anything
It's already
great.
one, but go ahead, Arcturus. Let's see if you. Oh,
I
you
got
you did the first
21.
one. Wow, 21, 22, and 20. All right. Sorry, little fox. You're distracted.
I don't give a crap about people.
All right.
I'm talking to a plant.
We're so perceptive we hear him peeing on the wall.
Yep. Good work. So
What
you
is that?
hear
That's
Malik. You hear a voice. You hear a voice, and there she's saying quietly, "Please, blessed foe hammer, mighty tempest, lord of battles, hear our prayer that we might seek glory today, that we might draw our blades in your service." And then you hear like muttering, like they essentially like the amen, like hail tempest. And you hear this coming from you approach a crack in the wall, and you can hear it coming from the other side. It's like a little 3-foot gap in the wall.
Ooh. I motion to Arcturus. I'm like, who worships this tempest?
Can I make a religion
Make a
check?
religion check, totally.
Okay. Normal amounts of people.
Okay, you got an 11. Well, I can tell.
I have trained religion skill, and I got 23. I mean, I share my information, but I want to know what the fuck is up with Tempest.
Okay, so Tempest is a not a popular god, but a well-known god, one of the higher deities of the Forgotten Realms. One hopes one need not pray to Tempest. Tempest is a god of war, the god of war, in fact. Known as Lord of Battles, known as Foehammer. His dogma is predominantly about honorable battle. He hates cowards and prefers force of arms to resolving conflict.
Well, we can either give them what they want or avoid them, I think. It's going to be difficult for me to...
If we wander around here the whole time, like with them also hanging around, we're gonna run into them in an inopportune moment. And tomorrow, when I enact my plan, if they're still here, we're gonna run into them anyway.
My thoughts are along the lines of last time that we encountered Artis. He had run afoul of a similar group.
Good point.
Not to say that that's something that he does often, but since it is our only experience with him, I can't help but feel that perhaps there is a cage in there with two of our friends in it.
I don't understand how he can teleport. How do you get stuck in a cage when you... But yes.
And maybe he had already teleported once that day. Magic is strange.
Maybe he's just bad.
All right. Well, I'll lead the way. Either way, this isn't going to get into an ambushy sort of situation. They don't seem like the type. If it comes to honorable battle, I know...
Is there any way that we could see inside without going inside?
Yeah, I mean, inside is sort of like a loose description of this building because it's all crumbled and the walls are all sort of broken down. You're standing next to a quite a thick stone wall. Probably used to be the foundation. You can see water lines on the wall where like some of the dirt had been washed away. So you're in like standing next to the basement of a building wall. So it's quite a thick wall. But there is that gap that I described. You hearing the voices come through off to one side. The whole wall it's kind of on your left. It's about 80 feet long from one end to the other, and there's no interruption except that little gap.
How possible would it be for Little Fox to Kool-Aid Man straight through the wall and just surprise attack them?
You can't tell how thick the wall is. So, I mean, I guess you can because you can see the crack. The wall's like 5 feet thick, so no, it would be impossible.
Okay.
It's part of some like monolithic stone structure.
It's part of something that used to be bigger, but mostly has like kind of gotten washed away.
Ishi,
Yes.
you have been effective at
Want me
getting
to take a look? I can take a look.
I merely suggest that if we
Okie doke.
just wish to, and then
I
she just like, okay.
roll to take a peek while nobody else is looking at him.
Okay. And what? Where are you going? What are you gonna do?
So we have this gap in the wall, right, that we can like see or hear some stuff through. So that gives me a general direction. I'm trying to like sneak around the side of this wall, like keeping very close.
Yeah, you want to peer through the
itself.
gap.
So I can see like, well, not necessarily through the gap because I don't think we'll get enough.
I mean, it's pretty big. It's like a 3 foot. Like you could squeeze through it. You don't even have to squeeze to get through it.
Okay, well,
It's like a tunnel.
I'm trying to do this without them seeing me. Let's put it that way. I want to see them first. I want to see their camp. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make a. You made your stealth check. Let me see if you get spotted doing this.
Sure.
I think chances are pretty good you won't. Okay. Nope. So you peer around the corner of this wall, and I think from where you can see, you look into a room, or what used to be a room. You can see the floor. The floor's got like a puddle of stagnant water. But looking through, you don't see anybody. You look into the room. There's a room that's like 20 by 20, and then there's another door, an open archway on the other side. Sunlight and rain come down on top because there's no roof.
Can I get closer? Can I like go to the next doorway?
Yeah, you can sneak into the room.
That was my thought. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you.
I'm like trying to get sight on these guys.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You begin to sneak into the room. And that's when Little Fox, I think on the eastern side of the building, you hear footsteps like splashing through the water. And Malik, you hear more on the other side. So on either side of the wall, you can hear footsteps. Like a group of people is approaching on either side of the wall.
So, let's squeeze
or-
into the thing.
Yeah, right.
Like Little Fox just grabs the two of you by the like backs of your shirts and just like whoop, like stuffs you into this little gap and then squeezes in after you.
Okay, let's roll initiative to determine what order this stuff is happening in.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and reveal. I will reveal all because I think that something is going to occur. But hang on, let me just GM layer some people you're not going to be able to see right away. 1 second. So for folks watching at home, you can already see what I'm doing. I'm just going to make all of rather than use dynamic lighting or anything like that, I'm going to make all the tokens invisible. I'm going to reveal the map to the players. And then as these characters become visible to them, I will reveal the tokens that are here. So this way they can see the map, but we can't, they're not going to see what's on it, though you will. So spoilers, I guess, for you. Enjoy. Okay. So y'all should see the little swampy ruin map now. The area that looks like it has water on it. So the room she is in, this like longer room off to one side, all the swamp around it. Consider that difficult terrain.
Except for me.
I think in this case, like it's not deep enough for you to swim in, so it's just slowing your like legs down when you walk. I'm sorry. I know the swim speed is great, but okay. I cleared the initiative order. Dave, I will re-add you to it.
Okay.
And I'm mostly we're doing it in initiative order so that I can figure out like what happens when, because there's a lot of moving.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of moving pieces. Okay, there we go. All right, and now I'll switch over to the GM layer, and I will roll for each of these things.
We don't have each other's health bars, by the way.
Oh, I think these are older versions of the tokens. Let me just adjust them for you.
Very coordinated for work. Change that if we could.
How about now? Can y'all see Dave's character's health bar? I'm working on them one at a time.
No.
Okay. Oh, that's because it's bar 3. I was looking for bar 2. There you go. You may have to reload if that's not doing it for you. But
I'll reload and see what's up.
bar 2. Here you go. Okie doke. All right. So there's that. Let me roll the initiative for these guys. Now you'll see their initiative. Obviously, like you'll see my rolls. But that's okay for me. I don't mind. Okay.
Oh, shit, these are guards?
I know, right? Startling.
It's gonna be like guard, paladin, warlord, like
Yeah, exactly.
red dragon. We're like,
It
whoa,
turns-
okay, hold
look,
on.
It turns out they've all been misnamed. They're not actually guards. They're guards.
Yeah.
They're a type of swamp dwelling.
Oh yes, the deadly guard.
The guard. It's French. It means guard. So let me get all these guys at it. Okay, there we go. All right, so I've got initiative for everybody now.
guard, Tarask.
Yeah, weird. The good guards are just there to just to fool you. It's a
Guarding
goof.
the rescue.
All right, so Little Fox, you are first. You're first to act. What would you like to do?
Yeah, Little Fox wants to just like stuff the other 2 party members into this gap. Like just be like, yeah, get in there, which is a little awkward to do in the like combat with like if we're using like combat layer stuff.
Yeah, we need to know when they're going. So you stuffing them, like they can only move on their turn unless you use your turn to like grapple them and like shove them around.
Yeah, that whole thing.
So
So it's just the thing I want to do isn't really possible now that we're on like initiative stuff.
I mean, it wasn't really possible before in the sense that like you could describe it, but still it would be them choosing to move.
Mhm.
Right. Like you can't bypass, like it wouldn't give them like free movement or free action to do that anyway,
No.
even if we had stayed in the narrative order.
So instead I'm just going to go invisible
Okay.
using my hidden step
Okay.
feature. So as a bonus action, I can magically turn invisible until the start of my next turn or until I attack, make a damage roll, or for someone to make a turn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Little Fox just disappears.
Hmm.
And I'll walk over. Let's see, how far can I get? So I'll go onto good terrain for 10, and then I can move another 30 feet now. Yeah, because my speed is 40. So
Okay.
So yeah, I can get into these bushes over here, we'll say.
Okay. I need to roll something real quick. What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 13.
13. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was 13 or 14. All right. Okay. All right. So as soon as you step around this corner, you see sneakily approaching 2 guards in chain shirts with spears and shields, and not like the ovoid Chultan shields, but the shield shape, the kind of leaf shaped.
The kite shield.
Yeah, kite shields, exactly. And they're approaching, and they're stealthily like walking up to the corner because they heard some people talking at full volume just a minute ago.
The stage whispering. Thank you very much.
There was no stage whispering. So they're you see them approaching, like, okay, and then the guy in the front is like waving them up, and they're coming around up to the corner, which they will finish doing on their turn. They can't see you because you're invisible until the beginning of your next turn. Okay, so meanwhile, things happen. Let's see. I'm just moving somebody. I make sure they have room. Okay, so Ishi, you see someone like jog by 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, so you see another like soldier jog by. He's wearing slightly different gear. He has a plate armor on. But his plate armor is like rusting in places and looks like it's it's been well worn. It's dented in places. This guy's been in fights with this armor before, and he has a tabard over top of it with the shield of the flaming fist on it, and he is carrying a great sword, and he has it drawn. And you see him dash across this direction right here, and then he disappears from view again.
Is that great in terms of size, or is it like nice?
Great in terms of size. It's also pretty nice.
All right.
I mean, it might not be up to Dave's standards, but actually you can still see him. He's standing there. You've got a line of sight to him.
Okay, cool.
So he's in the middle of a move when you spot him. Okay, Arcturus, it's your turn.
We heard the splashing of people.
Yeah, you can hear
upon
people
us.
moving tactically, but not silently, right? Because they're all jingling because they're armor. You hear some movement. You also heard movement from this other side over here too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what Little Fox suggested, and I think with the half movement, I can get into the corner there. Just like I have my shield up, and I think where did my I reloaded, so my character sheet wasn't out. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take the hide action.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you can make a stealth roll. You can take the dodge action too if you're just hiding behind your shield.
I think that I'll try and be like hidden, but I don't know how well it'll work. But yeah, he's definitely like he went into the building and he's standing like in a dark corner and like trying to not be glinty and covered in mail. So this is with disadvantage, right?
I believe so, based on the
Because of my armor.
Good. Fantastic. If you had advantages, this could have been great. Okay, you were not hidden whatsoever.
Nope.
Ishi, you see Arcturus doing like the body language of like, I'm sneaking, but it's not happening.
There's a huge kobold eye roll happening.
Kobolds have a special set of eyelids just for eye rolling.
And they tell me to come look for stuff, and then they do this.
Yep. Okay, so that's your turn, Arcturus. Malik, it is your turn. What are you going to do?
Knowing that these people hate cowards, I'm actually not going to hide, and I'm going to say, "Was that fellow humans I hear exploring these ruins?"
Greetings, fellow humans.
Yeah.
Okay. So Little Fox, you see these two guards like look at each other like, the hell? What's that? Somebody yelling in common? And so they're all kind of like whispering among each other. And the guards, these dudes are certainly not high enough in the chain of command to make decisions. So, what do you want to like? What do you want to do? What is your goal? Because if you want to make a roll, we could do that.
I got this.
Okay.
I use minor illusion to create a flaming fist tabard over my robes.
Okay. All right. Can
Alright,
you
got this.
put minor illusion in the chat?
This is a cunning plan.
All right. So for 1 minute, you appear. I wonder though. So here's the trick, because minor illusion, it can't move, right? You can't like move it around. So you have to stand perfectly still so you don't clip through your tabard.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Okay, I think about. Then I realize, let's go with the first plan. Let's just. I'm much better at telling the truth than I am at lying.
Mm-hmm.
I stand there. I maybe like rearrange my stuff so that my staff looks less like a focus, and I like maybe take out my lantern So I look less threatening.
Okay. All right. And then you want to wait for them to come out?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and talk to them.
Okay. All right.
Nothing says harmless adventurer like a lantern in the middle of the day.
Well, he's just it's hanging on his staff to kind of like obscure that it's a magic guy staff.
Yeah.
Ishi, it is your turn.
Well, I have big shiny signal Arcturus like hanging out right next to me now, which is like super unhelpful.
You're giving it away. No, stop following me.
Now I know that you're like you did a stealth check or whatever, but walking out of this room, if there's anyone out there, like they'll see you. Like there's just nowhere to hide once you leave this room.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I figured. I'm just like looking at my options here.
Yeah. Which actually reminds me, somebody is in the wrong place.
I'm just gonna make like a dash over to the other side of the room. So that like if they see Arcturus, they're not gonna immediately see me as well necessarily. I think I will just take the dodge action.
Okay.
In case anything comes, I got my shield out, in case anything comes at me. That's the plan.
Okay. Cool. All right. So these two guards that you can see, they stack up on the wall here, and they're acting all like sneaky and stealthy, right? Little Fox, you can see them. They don't know that you're observing them, but they like stack up on the wall, and this one, the front one, whispers to the one behind him, like, what do we do? And then I was like, wait for the lieutenant. And like they hold, right? Spears up, like ready to do something. Ostensibly, you hear some. I guess Malik, you would hear some shuffling on this side. Similarly, guards choosing to like get backed up. I think everyone else holds action, and then Little Fox, you appear.
Yeah. So.
That happens at the beginning of your turn?
At the beginning of my turn, I appear.
Okay.
So, do we see signs that these people serve the Flaming Fist? Adam?
Yes. You haven't. The only person with a tabard was the guy that Ishi saw. But they're dressed like warriors from the north. They
actually no. You know what?
I don't know that it would matter to you.
I have realized how Little Fox feels about this, which is the last time we dealt with militant humans, it was bad, and she sees no reason why these ones would be any different than the fucking the other fist, the not on fire fist, like case in point right there, like the distinction,
the gauntlet. That's what the order of the gauntlet.
The order of the gauntlet. She's like, I don't know, these guys are all the fucking same. Like
there is now that I think about it, there is a design specificity in the Forgotten Realms where most of the people whose symbol is a fist are not very nice.
It's like because the tyrant god
Bane is a black fist, a clutched fist,
and then these guys serve the god of war, who has like a certain kind of gauntlet, and then there's the gauntlet with the eye in it.
Tempest's holy symbol is actually an upright flaming sword.
It's a sword, flaming sword.
His is a sword, but like there's lots of different gods that are.
And the one is named Helm, and their icon isn't a helm, and it's confusing.
Helm is his name, all right.
So Little Fox's anger knows no bounds. So I'm just gonna rage and like attack these jerks because I assume that's what they are.
Okay.
Based on my limited and hateful information.
Yeah, it's an in-character decision that may lead to some bad times, but that's okay. It makes sense. You have justification for it.
My alignment is neutral, and
so
I'm angry all the time.
You flip out, and you rush forward, and then you get the business end of two spears because they were holding their action to attack anyone who came nearby. But I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure they'll poke you, and then you'll get even more angry.
I am raging already. Yeah, and my AC is 16.
So they're like they see you suddenly, and they're like,
she just like appears out of a bush and is this like enormous lady holding a huge hammer, and she's coming at it to just like smash one of them directly.
Well, and
into
they see like an ogre, right? They see like a huge greenish beast rushing them, who appeared out of nowhere, rushing them with a.
It's super terrifying.
Yeah, so they try to set their spears, so you run into them. So two attacks, AC 16.
Yeah.
The first one is a miss. The second one, you just bat their spears aside as you rush forward.
Yeah, like one of them maybe like panics and doesn't really do a good job, and then the other one just gets like
they get tangled up,
and just like grabs it and tears it out of the way. And
Yep.
Yeah. So I will. I may as well go reckless attack at this one. Yeah, so I'll go reckless attack, so they'll have advantage the next time they attack me. But who gives a care? Because if they're both dead, what does it matter? So I get a 20, which I hope hits.
Okay. Yeah.
I hit the first one for 12 damage.
Okay. The first one will go to heaven, remembering only the blunt end of your maul hurtling towards his skull.
And I know that these guys want to die in battle. Actually, I heard them praying to a war god too. Like, this just makes so much sense for me to come in here. And it's like, yeah, this is what they want. They want to fight.
Bang! And you just crush the guy against the wall. Take a swing at the other guy.
Deal 13 damage to this guy.
So that one also dies screaming.
And this one gets batted the other direction. It's like
bowling pins.
The wall, and then knock the other guy.
So everybody hears battle being joined, right? You all hear the shouts. These the two like guards, the crash of metal and stone, and then splashing. So all that happens.
I shout, "Oh my god, a monster!"
Oh no, a beast. Okay. You get shot by an arrow, little fox, or shot at by an arrow.
Great.
Because this person is holding their action. Now, okay, so here's a question, and I think I know the answer. But if you prepare an action and then you change your mind, you can just not take an action, right? You don't have to go through with it. Yeah.
Yes.
It's May.
This person's not going to shoot at you. They're going to remain in relative safety for now. We see someone crouching in the bushes or something. They lift their bow and they're like,
maybe I'd best
this is
not.
A bad call for me.
Yeah, because I just waxed 2 people within the space of 6 seconds.
You surely did.
Okay. Smash.
So that's your turn, right?
I'm all done. That's everything I need to do.
Okay, great. So, little fox. All right. The commander dude,
lieutenant or whatever.
Yeah, he comes running back this way. Sees Arcturus. He sees a strange fish man, so he's moved up there. And I don't think that he can. Let's see, 25, so 50 more feet. No, he can't run and attack you. So he is going to. He's going to keep moving this way. And he shouts, there's 2 of them straight ahead. Fall back. And you hear clattering of armor.
Saw me too?
No, he heard the one outside, saw
okay.
Arcturus, and was like, there's 2 of them.
All right, I just thought you meant.
Yeah, he is expressly goofed up counting.
Yes. Well, he counted. He just, he's falling back behind the building. So he runs around a wall, and he's going to use his action to swap weapons. So Arcturus, it's your turn.
Okay. I think that I hear the sounds of little fox fighting, which is fairly familiar to all of us. Mm-hmm. And there's this like,
now we have to do a murder. Oh no.
And I'm trying to think if there is because I feel like Arcturus would try and diffuse, mm-hmm. But also from what we understand, these guys aren't really the diffusing type. I think I'm going to cast Fog Cloud.
Interesting. Okay. Where?
Yeah. All I know is that Little Fox is over here, and I know that this guy is over here. Fog Cloud has a range of 20-foot radius, which I can make into a 40-foot radius. How much is a 20-foot radius sphere? Let's go 40. Let's do a 40-foot radius sphere, and I would like
40-foot radius puts it over this entire building.
Yeah,
it's
that's what
like
I want.
It's like an 80-foot across thing.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to cover the whole building with fog so that we can try and diffuse the situation.
I feel
Well, it's going to diffuse the lighting, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's fog. And I think that Arcturus is probably knows that he's not going to get to Little Fox while she's in a rage.
So how many squares across is it? It's 40 feet across?
Let me get the...
Because it's a 20-foot radius, right? Yep.
Yeah, I cast it at level 2.
There it is. Where would you like to place it?
So it covers as much of the building as possible.
No, because she cast
It's
it
a
at
40-foot radius.
It should be another 20 feet big radius-wise.
Yeah.
Oh, like another 4.
I cast it at level 2.
Like double it, basically.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
So
real big.
that's 55. It should be 80 across?
80, yeah.
Here, let me hold out a ruler for you.
Yeah, Lord God.
That's
Okay.
literally the width of the building.
Yeah.
That's 6. You just fill the whole building.
I just fill the whole building with a thick fog.
Arcturus just smoke grenades the building.
Yeah, it's heavily
Exactly.
obscured.
Smoke out.
It's heavily obscured, and I whisper to where I thought Ishi was, and I say, like, you have to calm Little Fox down. Like, we don't know anything about these people.
Calm down. What?
You heard what I heard outside? I don't like the idea of going into a place and just wiping out its inhabitants. It seems wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a thick like water vapor, right? It's fog. So it's like
It's
like
heavily obscured, which is the like
y'all can't even see each other now.
no, but I know the direction that Ishi was, so I just stage whispered in that general direction. And I think I had to take my tiny bug to go to the restroom.
Yeah, that's okay. We can take a break here. We're due one. So as the vapor fills up this ruined building, we fade out along with the visibility. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more Roll20 Presents Tomb of Annihilation.